Welcome to the Lockdown Economy, a social non-profit initiative by the think tank AlterContacts to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. My name is Karen Rickes, and today our guest is Floor van der Steen, the co-founder of Max Organic Mints, a mint-producing business based in Haarlem. Hello, Floor. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm good too. Thank you so much. Well, Floor, this is your second interview already with Lockdown Economy. You spoke with us a couple of weeks ago. For those of our viewers who are new to Lockdown Economy, could you maybe tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, sure. So I am co-founder of Max's Organic Mints, and with Max's Mints, we try to make as sustainable possible alternative to the good old peppermint. And yeah, we have a whole assortment of different flavors that we sell here within the Netherlands, but also outside of the Netherlands, helping consumers to go green.
Very nice. What kind of flavors do you have available?
Well, for example, the traditional fresh flavors are menthol and spearmint, but then we also have a quite spicy ginger. We have a coffee flavor for those who are not particularly into all the menthol kind of things, but do like to be refreshed every now and then. And then we have licorice, lemon, which is quite sour, and yeah, well.
Ah, that's really nice. So there's really truly something in there for everyone. Kind of kept thinking which one I would probably prefer. I think, yeah, I would probably maybe go with the good old fashioned like menthol one, spearmint, or maybe ginger. That sounds kind of nice as well.
So you introduced ginger that long ago, but well, within months it was after menthol the best-selling flavor, so that's fun.
See. I'm going with the flow, so to say. So you mentioned that, yeah, you kind of really want to, in a way, help consumers make a greener, more sustainable choice. Could you tell us a bit more about that? Sort of what drives you as an entrepreneur?
Well, I think I always had the intention to help people like make more sustainable food choices, particularly food. I always wanted to work in food, and then I think it kind of grew during my university years. I was studying in Italy, and I saw how people in Italy had more feeling towards, they were so much more aware of what happened with their food before they ate it. Whereas in the Netherlands, it's really, food is often something functional. You do it because you have to, but it doesn't really have a secondary, meaning to it. And I really liked the way they did that in Italy. And then for me, it resulted in wanting to help people eat more, just more sustainable and also more like deliberate. I don't know if deliberate is the right word, but not without giving thought to it, but thoughtful. Thoughtful is a better word for it.
Yeah, really good. I think that's quite interesting. Also for me, when I first came to the Netherlands and I talked to friends, for example, from Italy or from France, they all kind of said the same thing. Okay, in the Netherlands, food really is or can be purely to sustain yourself and keep going, so to say. So
yeah.
Indeed. So what is it that makes Max's mint more sustainable than your average old-fashioned mint?
Yeah, we try to make it a more sustainable product on every part of the production chain. So, for example, when we look at the mint itself, it's organic, also 100% natural. We don't use gelatin in it. And then if we look at the packaging, we package in tin cans that are infinitely recyclable without loss of quality, but also we don't use plastic to seal it. We use plastic tape around our packaging boxes. And if you look at the production process, we have it packed by a social workplace, where people work with disabilities.
Okay.
So basically on every aspect of the production chain, we try to see, is there a better alternative?
Yeah, that's really interesting, especially now that you also mentioned the sort of sheltered employment opportunities that you also use. So it's really about sustainability on all aspects, so to say, not the let's say common green only approach to sustainability. That's really cool.
I think what you often see, especially in really like thriving brands, is that they pick out one part of the production chain as the main problem on which they focus. So either, I don't know, plastic pollution or child labor, or I don't know, and then that's what they zoom in on and what they try to change. Um, and I really understand the approach, because it's a very the story is easier to tell. Um, but I think there's on so many aspects there's a change that can be made. So why not try and like do it all? Do it all is not good, but yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Of course, sometimes it can feel overwhelming if you, yeah, sort of feel the need to really tackle it all. But it's really good to hear that you indeed managed to, yeah, focus on many aspects of the value chain. Now, of course, we're in this, yeah, context of the lockdown economy that we're now speaking to each other. So let's maybe talk a bit more about that. So, how has the pandemic affected your business so far?
Well, at the start of it, we have the tin cans produced in China, such as like I think 90% of tin around the world, and then they get transported by boat to the Netherlands. So there's quite a long production lead time in it. And when the pandemic just started in China, we were actually at this trade fair in Germany, and talking to all these potential customers. And well, basically at that moment we received this call from our production facility in China telling us, we have a problem here and the production facility might have to close down. And we were stressed out, like, oh my God, maybe we'll have these very big customers, in a couple of weeks and won't have any product to deliver to them. But then it turned out that the production facility actually was up and running again quite soon. But all the customers we were talking to, whom were particularly in out of home type of segments, such as like train stations, gas stations, or airports, those are the locations shutting down. So yeah, it required some adjustment in our sales focus mainly. So instead of focusing on all these on-the-go type of locations, we try to expand in the organic retail section. So now basically all of the western part of Europe has Maxis Mints in their organic retail, which is also very good, but not what we intended at the beginning of last year.
Yeah. Yeah, really interesting. Yeah, I remember the yeah, what you might call the good old days when we still thought that this was not something that was going to affect us as heavily as it now turned out it did. So yeah, can imagine that that was of
like
course
ages ago, doesn't it?
definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Well, it was a year. I mean,
Yeah, indeed. And now, but then you've kind of, yeah, managed to come around, kind of counterbalance that loss of customers, and on one end, and kind of, yeah, go on to target others, target organic supermarkets, for example.
yeah.
What did you do in terms of, yeah, marketing? You mentioned that over the last couple of months, that kind of was, yeah, on the back foot, so to say. What have you done now to kind of, yeah, what are you working, how are you working towards increasing your visibility and really marketing your message?
Yeah, well, I think for a product like ours, mints are super impulse driven. So it's basically all about location, location, location. If you get to have a good location in a shop where people, you're in front of their eye and they can't miss you, it's something you'll take with you. So I think the first thing for us is making sure that we sell Maxes at the right type of retail channels. And then the second thing is making sure that we get a good place within the store with the good materials. So for example, we've been working on different types of like point of sale materials for in stores, like display box and these cards we put in our display boxes that give more information, like information snippets about Maxis Mints, about being gelatin free, and also being packaged in sheltered employment type of situation. So people, every time they see Maxis Mints, they get some small snippet of information. What Well, yeah, and we're only just starting right now with, putting more emphasis on our online channels. But at the same time, I think having the online channels for us is, it gives us some credibility, but at the same time, because we're so impulse driven, we're not on any grocery list and people are not buying mint online. I mean, or maybe not never, but it's not the primary focus. So yeah, it's more, our focus is more on getting the attention in store.
I see. Yeah, I mean, personally, I must say that that makes a lot of sense to me. That of course when I sort of think back to when I usually buy mints, it's when I'm already at the cashiers and kind of
And you
grabbing
see
something that,
it, and it looks appealing, or you have a bad taste or whatever.
yeah, indeed. So that's really interesting. So it's really all about sort of point of sales, making sure the message kind of grabs the attention on the spot.
Yeah, and maybe at the same time, another thing I just thought of is also, I mean, our retail locations, it's not our retail locations, of course, but the retail locations selling Max's Mints, they are our biggest ambassadors. I mean, I'm only very little in contact with the end consumer. I am more in contact with the retail location. So it's super vital for us to make sure that they are our biggest ambassadors. So for example, what we did do online is setting up this like email automation to better stay in touch with our retail locations and telling them more about what makes Max's Mints different to other like conventional mint products, and also about the point of sale materials, etc. Because that's things that otherwise, kind of are easy to forget, and we try to help them remember, to also make them, to more give them the ambassador function.
Yeah, I see. Kind of, as you mentioned, it of course can be easily forgotten, but then sort of gently nudging them in the right
Exactly.
direction,
Don't
similar.
forget us. Put us on your cashier.
Exactly. Yeah, similar to how you are really, nudging your consumers also into making that really easy, straightforward, greener choice.
Yeah.
And now, kind of looking back on, we mentioned it before, this 1 year of being in crisis mode. What would you say are some of your biggest learnings as an entrepreneur reflecting on that period?
Well, there are several, of course. I mean, being an entrepreneur is learning all the time, and it's especially learning that you just have to persist. It's a matter of, in Dutch we'd say you have to have a long breath. I don't know if you can say this in English too, but
Let's
you
just
don't
say
win
it.
a car in a day or two. It just takes time, and a pandemic like this, I mean, it requires flexibility, and you have to be able to be open to adjust. But if you do so, it might give you even more opportunities. It doesn't have to. In our case, it could. So if things don't go according to plan, it doesn't mean the end of the plan. It means you have to adjust, and if you're open to change and to pivot, there could be a lot of good ahead.
True that. I think that's a really important message to take away, of course, for all the entrepreneurs that might be watching, of course, kind of be thinking on your feet, be, able to flexibly adapt to whatever is coming next.
Yeah.
And now, kind of looking at the next couple of months, you probably remember this question from your last interview. Could you maybe name 3 things that you yourself could use help with in the next couple of months?
Well, we're actually working on I think a couple of things. First of all, sales credibility. So I sometimes need help with explaining to retail locations why organic mints are relevant, because it's new. There's no such thing yet. So and consumers don't necessarily ask for it because they don't know there's an issue, and they don't know they're here. So we have to explain that even though the questions might not be there yet, it is important for consumers to be able to make better choices on all types of products. That's the first thing. And then finance on the second thing. Thus far, we have financed ourselves, which has been fine, but we're talking to some very, very big potential customers, and that needs stock financing, etc. So that's one thing we're working on. And what would be the third thing? Well, I'm not really sure.
I mean, those two are already quite relevant, quite important. So I think we can keep it at that, and yeah, make sure that the message gets out there. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Flor, for sharing your insights with us today. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. Flor, do you have any last words to our viewers?
Yeah, I think that if you're watching right now, that probably you're entrepreneuring or thinking about it, and you might be scared of what's ahead, but if you don't try, you'll never know. So just give it a go.
Excellent. I think that's a really good note to end on. Thank you, Flor, for that. Feel free to contact Flor using any of the links in the description of this video below. I invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. On our channel, you can find many more insights from entrepreneurs in many different countries and business sectors. So please have a look and stay tuned.